Okay, another update. All right, a lot's happened. Currently at Bahia Mar Marina, and that was probably, I don't know, less than a mile from the anchorage, so it wasn't far of a move. And Gabe, the previous owner, was a real hero and came aboard and helped me. He even docked the boat for me because I don't know, I haven't spent a lot of time driving a 50-footer without a bowsprit, and he has, and bowsprit, bow thruster, and but it went just fine. It went just fine. It's just been raining for days. I don't know if we'll ever see the sunshine again. I mean, it's just it's tropical storm conditions. I mean, it's just sideways rain nonstop, and so I've been wet for about 3 days now. It's getting old. And then Bahia Mar just finished the International Boat Show, which is I think a massive event for them. And so the entire parking lot is filled with like structures that a construction team is taking down. And so we got to park on the opposite side of the complex. And so it's a guaranteed soaking, getting to the car and returning. And so it just is what it is. It just each little time takes you down a tick, you know. And then I've discovered where all the leaks are on board. So at least from the ceiling down. And so is coming from there. And so I've wiped that up about 18 times. So I'm going to go out and buy an armful of towels. And there's this spot. There's one right here. There's one at the foot of the bed, which is unfortunate, and then there's one in there, so it's not too bad, but I'm sure there's others, but those are like the puddles. So anyhow, got the boat moved safely, all that. Yesterday was just kind of a stressful debacle of just one of the managers of the boat show was threatening to tow the car because I couldn't be where I was, but it was right by the boat where I was told to park. I went to the marine office. They said, you can park there, but maybe it's better to go somewhere else. And it was just all confusion. And I was the middle person for these two. I mean, I don't know if I don't think they're on the same team, you know, whatever. And so the Marina people have been very, very nice. And they got me 2 valet passes. The guys at the parking thing, I think I'm just part of a much larger thing going on here. They've got their hotel and whatever else. But anyhow, it's all working out. It's just, again, it's just driving rain and everything else. And it's just, I feel like there's a million things that are unknown to me right now because of life on board. And so just adding stuff where like not even knowing where to park, where I'm told where to park, just is frustrating. And so anywho, but definitely some nasty conditions out. So I'm glad I'm not having to dinghy back and forth 30 minutes. So if I'm getting soaked walking, and I would definitely be getting soaked dinghying for 30 minutes and really nasty stuff. So this is all fine. But I went out and bought 2 shore power cables today. So these are just big 30 amp plugs to be able to plug in the boat to the dock's electrical system. And then you can operate systems that are on 120 volts instead of just your batteries on board. And a great thing, we got to take these gifts that come to us, is that I've plugged in, I had to daisy chain 2 power cords together, and I've turned on, and the inverter seems to be working properly. And so I'm able to, well, it's at least charging the batteries because it's an inverter charger. It's like a Magnasign, I don't know, 2800 watt inverter, and about like a $2,000 unit. So I'm really happy it's working. And so let's see if I can get it to wake up here. Well, I of course just toggled a menu item here, but anyhow, it's working. So it's charging my one battery that I've been using as my house battery, and that's really cool. Really, really cool, because that means we can basically start tinkering with everything else. And so I've turned on the water pressure, and I can get water at all outlets. So there's the shower in here. I guess I can show that. So this is in the head. You can excuse the pee jug. And then this is, I have no idea what y'all will be able to see, but this is a really nice tile stand-up shower. And I'm gonna have to test to see if the hot water heaters worked. But and then there's another head forward, and then of course the galley stuff. So several places where we would want to get water out, and so that's good. And I don't see, I just don't know enough about all this, but I've never had an inverter, and so I'm letting the inverter just charge the batteries. But I just briefly, I toggled that off and toggled the aft cabin air conditioning, and that this panel here lit up, which is great. And I turned it on, it functioned, air was coming out of here and other places. So I mean, that would just be incredibly cool, because then I could get some of this moisture out of here and sleep without just one fan. But it kept showing like the temperature and then HPF. And I guess other news, my phone died yesterday, or was damaged during all the stupid rain. So I was standing there with Gabe trying to get a ride back to connect him back to his boat and me to the car to come back here. And water got into the outlet, which is supposed to be waterproof, and the outlet shut itself down. And then the phone died, like just power wise, and so I tried to dry it out as best I could. I plugged it in, it worked all day yesterday, charged up fine, worked all tonight, and then I woke up this morning and the screen wasn't functioning, and so I've got it in a bag of rice. But I'd like to look up, back to present, I'd like to look up HPF and see what code that is. And so I left the brochure that has the Wi-Fi code about a half-mile away in the car on the other side of the complex, and it's just very, very nasty out. And so anyhow, I'll look that up, because I don't know if that's, I was trying to make up what that was, like what does HPF stand for, you know? And so I don't really know if that's telling me please turn me off, something's failing, or is that just like happy whatever, I don't know. But PF could be power fault or something, I don't know. So I'm just on edge with it all, because I don't want to break it before even having a chance to mess with it a little bit. But that's probably enough of an update now. But things are all right. If the weather, I'm hoping that Bill, Camille, and Dad can arrive tomorrow at 8 p.m. And we'll see if the weather messes them up or not. But if they are here, I got to do a little cleaning up. But that means I'll have some backup, and we'll take it from here. But I think our goals before leaving would be have a reliable battery bank, and so we can order that from eMarine Systems. We need a way to charge that comfortably, which hopefully is the 200 amp alternator here and the power control charger. So that's the next thing to be installed. And then the engine alternator is acting funny, and I'm wondering if we just can charge off the 200 amp and then cross them over to blend the power as a possibility. Or we're thinking about getting, we're tired of spending money, you know, we've got to slow down on that a little bit. But I'm not too afraid of investing in stuff that we know we're going to need in the future. Like when we're out at Ocracoke, we're going to be living on solar panels out there. And so if I got 2 solar panels hooked up here, that could be charging the engine battery, the alternator charging the house bank. When we get to a dock, we've got this great gift of everything being able to be recharged. And so that would probably do it. And then I need to focus my attention on checking the impeller, doing an oil change, coolant, oil filters, changing the fuel filters, having spares of those, just completely servicing the engine to make sure. I mean, we're going to be leaning on it very heavily, of course, on the way back. But that's about it. And then any other systems we can get going. I turn on the fridge switch, there's a light that comes on, and there's a light back here. So again, just now that I actually have stable power, I can start seeing what in the world works. But we're certainly not going to stay here for a week playing with the fridge. But along the way, we can, if it works, it works. And there's also supposedly a really nice heater on board that I haven't found yet. And so don't need it now, but probably when we start crossing the Georgia line, it's going to get cold and colder. And so I'd love to find that heater. But I also noticed forward there was a chunk missing with some duct work, and that could be the forward AC unit that got pilfered, or that's where the heater was, or who knows, right? So anyhow, stuff to figure out, but that's enough for now, and that's the news. I figured I'd do another quick update here. Well, I had the dinghy secured, but obviously not well enough, and a bunch of wind just came and airlifted it and flipped it over so that our brand new Honda 2.3 motor was upside down in the harbor. But it stayed attached to the dinghy, so that is really, really good. Otherwise I'd be diving down to find it. And then I decided to disassemble the porta boat, fold it up, which would have been a great move yesterday, but hard lessons learned, I guess. And I don't even think the main part of the winds have gotten here yet. And so, you know, I'm standing, it was about an hour of tidying everything up and just being in torrential downpour and everything else. So, just is what it is. I'm staying in the bathroom so that I'm dripping in here, not on the salon, although I'm not sure it matters so much because there's some big puddles and everything else. So I'm about to change into my, I don't know why, but I'm going to change into a pair of somewhat drier shorts, put on my Fowley jacket, go out, find somewhere to buy about 15 towels, and because I think it's another week of this rain. And then I'm going to keep messing with stuff. I was reading up on one of Kenneth's other manuals on the entire plumbing system, water system, etc. And so both heads do something. They both seem to be electric or rely on electricity in some way. I think one's a vacuum flush toilet, and so I'm just gonna keep troubleshooting things. The clicker for the I'm anxious about the propane because I've got kerosene on board my other boat, and you could throw a match in a bucket of kerosene and it won't do anything, it won't kill you, it'll put the match out. Same with diesel, but propane will blow up the boat if it's not safe. So I found the propane diagram, I looked at it. I think there's only one fitting that goes out of the locker to the stove, which is proper, and then there's the solenoid and the regulator and all that, and so then there's a drain there that feeds directly to the outside of the boat. So it seems to all be done properly. It seems that there's propane in the system. So I'm going to give it a go when I get back, but we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I'm going to dry off and go get some more towels and keep going.